Welcome back to Bazaar Morning Call, where we have a lot of stocks in focus and we have our entire research team joining in now to help us prep for the day. So let's get straight to it. Vivek is here with us first up to tell us how Torrent Power and NHPC's numbers looked. He's also tracking RVNL, by the way, this morning. Vivek, over to you.
Well, that's right. Quite a few results to keep track of. So Torrent Power is the first on our list. Year-on-year, optically, it's a very strong set of numbers. However, sequentially, there's some softness seen as far as all of the operational metrics are concerned. Looking at the numbers, revenues are up almost 61%. Multiple acquisitions that the company has done in this particular quarter have gone ahead and aided the revenue performance. EBITDA is higher by 10%. Margins, however, have contracted on a year-on-year basis, 18.1 versus 26%. Net profit of 450 crore versus the loss seen last time around. Multiple provisions were made by the company last year around. However, when you're talking about sequentially, revenues are down almost 12%. EBITDA is down almost 32%, and profitability too is much lower on a sequential basis. Key highlight from the company this particular quarter, contributions largely from the distribution business is what has aided. Along with that, the LNG trading gains is also something that has gone ahead and aided the operational performance this time around. On the other hand, talking about NHPC, it's a very good set of numbers from the company this time around. Revenues higher by 21% on a year-on-year basis. EBITDA up 72%. Margins also very strong, almost over 1,000 basis points expansion, and net profits up almost 38% on a year-on-year basis. RVNL, it's been a soft quarter from the company this time around, mainly on the back of the fact that the order book execution is something that continues to remain a bit of a soft point. Revenues down almost 11%, EBITDA down 8.3% on a year-on-year basis. Margins are steady at 6.6%. Net profits is down almost 5%. Expect some red on the stock today morning.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for that, Vivek. Well, let's hop across to Mangalam. He's tracking a couple of companies, IRCTC, Campus and ISGEC. Mangalam, tell us more.
Well, we start with IRCTC. Well, the revenue for the company grew around 40-odd%. The EBITDA grew just 16.5%. And that's because, the share of their lower profit businesses are coming back as normalcy returns. Back in the day when there were COVID-related issues, it was only the internet ticketing business that did well for them. But now the other businesses are coming back. But remember, it's the internet ticketing business which accounts for most of their profitability. And out there, the business was flat. So internet ticketing saw a revenue growth of just 0.8%. And the EBIT out there declined by about 3%. So see some negative out there. The net profit, of course, was aided by an exceptional gain of 25.8 crores. So see red on IRCTC. Poor numbers coming in from Campus. In fact, one of the worst in this sector. 1.3% decline in their revenue. We are seeing the EBITDA down by about 28%. And the net profit out here is absolutely flat. But that's largely because tax expense for them is come down from 34 crores to around 6.9 odd crores. So, for Campus, I see red. And finally, as far as ISGC is concerned, strong performance coming in their machinery manufacturing equipment business, and their sugar operating profit actually near tripling, as a result of which their revenues grew by about 28%, led to an EBITDA growth of 55%, and the net profit for them jumped all the way to 86 crore versus 37.6 crores. So see big green in ISGC.
All right, Mangalam, thanks very much for that. Now, more numbers. Jubilant, Pharmova, Hikal, Sobha, Heidelberg. Sonal has got that list. She's joining in. Sonal, morning.
Good morning, Prashant. Let me start with Jubilant Pharmova, which was a weak set. While the revenues were higher on a YOY basis, EBITDA declined to 219 crore rupees. Margins were lower by 300 basis points on a YOY basis. This time around, the company in fact reported a loss of 100 crores versus a profit of 59 crore rupees, which was because also that the company took an impairment charge of 100 crore rupees related to certain intangible assets. On a YOY basis in the balance sheet, the net debt has also increased to 2193 crore rupees. Hikal, on the other hand, after many quarters of weakness, there are some green shoots here. Revenues were up 9%, EBITDA was up 48%, margins expanded by 400 basis points, and profits were higher by 74%. For Sobha, it was a good set. We already knew the operational update where they reported their best ever quarterly numbers in terms of bookings. Collections also were up 10% on a YOY basis. Their net debt came in at an 11-quarter low of 1,640 crore rupees. This compares with 2,337 crore rupees in the year gone by. So expecting a green tick there. For Heidelberg, volumes continue to remain a concern. That is where growth is not coming. Sales were down 3% for the company. EBITDA was down 42% and margins were lower by 800 basis points. Expect Heidelberg to be in the red today. Okay, thanks a lot for that. That's a pretty exhaustive list. And I think Sobha stands out from that. So let's see. Could be one of the big stocks of the morning. But these stocks have rallied quite a bit. And there are a lot of big numbers today as well. So we'll track that very closely. Here's a quick recap of our top stocks. Stocks with positive news flow. There's NHPC, Heidelberg, Sobha and ISGC Heavy Engineering, while stocks with negative news for this Torrent Power, IRCTC, Campus Activewear, Jubilant Pharmova and HeidelbergCement. But Manisha Gupta joins in now for a roundup of all the action from the commodity markets overnight. Manisha, hi, good morning. What's been happening there?
Sonia, thank you for that. I'll start with metals, and we've seen a strong rebound come in for many of them. And copper is off at 6-month lows, and markets are looking at inventories declining. And the debt ceiling going through has been, of course, a big positive. Even as the dollar index is trading at 104, we've seen buying return. Yesterday was a weak day because the US and UK markets were out of action. But Asia, yet again, is looking at buying, and that also on back of strong volumes right now. So it's not just copper. Steel is off at 3-year lows. Iron ore prices have surged up almost 4.5% overnight. So metals as a sector is doing well, and so is the case with energy, where the crude oil prices are holding at $77 a barrel. Markets will watch out for the June 4th OPEC meeting, and the OPEC and allies output in sense of their demand and supply reports for the year going forward. As of now, we know that OPEC and allies are cutting 3.6 million barrels on a daily basis. So what does it mean for the month of May and going forward is what we'll understand in this week. Until then, buying continues.
All right, Manisha, thanks very much for that. Commodities and oil specifically in focus. We'll come back. Sanjeev Basine of IIFL will be joining in with some fundamental stock check. We'll also connect with the management of Stovecraft to talk about their fourth quarter earnings. Stay tuned. Conversations follow.